Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BRC Speed World as we bring to you race 7 and 8 of the Sanden Formula Toyota Series. This is Lee Hunya, and I will give you the action in today's race. For our grid position, we have the number 25 car of JP Tuason with a time of 1:17.337 of the Toyota Balintawak Otis team. So we see the green flag. We're going to have our start. And waiting for we have the green light. Mark Godard going in the inside.
Hi, my name is JP Tuason, and I'm the Chief Dream Officer at Tuason Racing. I was very lucky because my dad was a rally champion. So in the 70s, my dad was racing using Ford Escorts. And he was very famous for modifying Ford Escorts in the Philippines. My dad started a shop called The Wet Look. So at this time, they were doing a lot of local rallies, rallycross, and then eventually they started racing again in the early 90s at the Subic Raceway, which this was probably about 1992. We had dabbled a bit in go-karts. I raced with my father in go-karts. I won a couple of championships there, but really it was moving from go-karts to cars, which I really remember with my father. We got to drive side by side in a race series called the Nissan Sentra Cup. In about 1994, this was really for me the pinnacle of my young career. I got to race on a 20-car grid with my dad. We were running a one-make race series using the Nissan Sentra Series 3. Great series. My dad was on the grid. Pocholo Ramirez was on the grid. His kids were on the grid. I was there, and it was such a great time. The rules were fairly fixed, but nobody followed the rules, so everybody was kind of cheating. It was really the best times ever. Everything was very raw. It was such a great experience because at the end of that series, my father won the championship, I came in second, and it really helped sort of get my mind on the track of the importance of running a one-make race, which is really the basis of the company that we've owned up to today. This was about 1994, 1995. Things were on the up and up. There's a brand new racetrack being built in Batangas called the Batangas Racing Circuit. And it was set to open in 1996. Now, because I was sort of an up-and-coming driver back then, I was in my teens, I was tapped by Toyota Balintawak to drive one of their cars. They were going to start a brand new race series called Formula Toyota, and this was going to be a one-make, single-seater race program. So I was tapped by Toyota, and I was going to probably run that program side by side with my dad. My dad was in line to buy a car, and basically that's when the world went upside down for me. So 1996, my father got sick, and he went to the hospital, and he just never came home. So 1996 was a difficult year for us. I lost my dad within the span of about a week. And within the span of about 3 months, I went from having a great dad, a racing career, a house in Forbes Park, right? So I lived in Forbes Park, it was nuts. And in 3 months, we lost it all. Our company started in 1999, so it was January 19, 22 years ago. It's crazy because I was at a point in my life where I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I wanted to stay in motorsports. My motorsports career wasn't really making any money. It was costing a lot of money for us to actually be at the track every day. So how did I figure out what to do? Well, I decided that the best way to move forward to stay in motorsports is to be able to teach other people the beauty and excitement of racing. Hence, we started our first racing class in Carmona, teaching people how to drive go-karts. In 1999, we were doing our classes, and to our surprise, our classes were full. It was a real revelation to see that people were interested to get involved in motorsports and that this could actually be a career path for myself. We got our first set of sponsors, we did our first year, and in our first year of training, we actually trained 150 students. I was super amazed, and at the time, my partner was my wife and my younger brother. And they've helped me really get to where we are today. From Carmona, what we did is about 2 years later, we were still doing the racing classes in go-karts. We decided that we wanted to move it forward. And the next progression would be to move into cars. So in year 2001, we went to the US. My wife and I lived in the US for about 3 months. And during that time, we took classes at the different racing schools, Skip Barber, Bob Bondurant. We went to the NASCAR experience. We tried all different types of motorsports. And what we did was we spent all of the money we had, invested it in ourselves, and it was either gonna work if we came back to the Philippines and ran the race school, or we would just live in North America. I would probably flip burgers and my wife would be a makeup artist at Macy's or something. And when we came home, we took all of our learnings from our training and we properly started TRS. I have 3 most favorite cars, and it's simply because they mean a lot to me personally. The first car I want to talk about, it's very obvious. It's the first generation Toyota Vios. It's very important for me because not only did I make a mark in Philippine motorsports with it, it's the car that I actually bought one of the old cars and my son is going to be racing in it. And it's one of those things that you're gonna end up keeping forever. The second one is our Formula V1 cars. And it's because one of our other dreams or goals when we started TRS was to manufacture a race car. So in 20 2017, our dream of assembling and manufacturing this car came true. So the Formula V1 cars, 40% of the car is actually made in the Philippines. The body, the wheels, battery, tires, all the OMP parts come from us. So we're also the dealer for OMP. These all come out of the Philippines. We assemble the car here with 60% parts coming out of Japan. And we sell and run the race series called Formula V1. My third, and this is a personal favorite which hasn't come true yet, but my last race, sort of my retirement race, was in Europe in 2012. And I drove a Porsche GT3 at both Spa and the Nürburgring. And I promised myself that one day when I could afford that car, I would have one and I would keep one of those forever as well. So in my garage one day, you will see a first-gen Toyota Vios Cup car, a Formula V1 car, and a Porsche GT3. Those would be the three cars for me. We've been in motorsports for 22 years. And after 22 years, you know, a lot of people, they get tired of their business cycle, they get tired of their business. And honestly, after 22 years, it's still exciting for me to come to the racetrack. Why? Because very simply, I'm driven by achieving the goals that we've set out. So I'm driven by my goal, which we still not yet have achieved, of creating world-class Filipino race car drivers. I need a guy that's gonna come through the school and end up in IndyCar or Le Mans or maybe one day Formula One. It's a big dream, but one day we're gonna achieve it. Guys, thank you for watching. My name is JP Tuason. I'm super proud to be featured on Driven. I'd like to invite you guys to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're at Tuason Racing. This year and moving forward into the future, we're gonna be concentrating on bringing our motorsports activities that are at the track to you online. And if you check out our pages, we're gonna be running a lot of promotions there, and we're gonna keep you updated with everything that's happening at the track during this pandemic, and even when it's done. I'd like to thank our sponsors for supporting us over the years. We wanna thank Phoenix, we wanna thank LG, we wanna thank GT Tires, and of course, Toyota. You guys have been awesome. Maraming salamat, guys. Peace.